Hi, this is Gail Nettles with Beaded Jewelry Diva. Today's project is going to be these earrings. I call them Starflowers, and they are very fast to make up. They're a lot of fun, and you can make them in all kinds of different color combinations. Let's go ahead, review the supply list, and get started. In the way of supplies. A needle, I'm using a size 11 beading needle. Some thread, I happen to be using 1G in beige, ash, something like that. A pair of scissors, a pair of chain nose pliers. You'll need these for attaching the earring findings. I have a bead burner that's entirely optional, just to clip the threads. You will need a pair of earring findings. I happen to have made these, and I do have a video on how to make beaded earring findings if you're interested. You will need Superduo beads in two colors. I am using one of the neon pinks and neon greens. A pair of dagger beads. I happen to be using the bright yellow. And you will need some size 11 seed beads. Threaded my needle with about 2.5 feet of the thread. And you can really use any thread of your choice. It's just nice to get a color that's close to, or at least coordinating with your beads. You're not going to see a whole lot of it, but you may as well go ahead and match the colors up as much as possible, although I don't have any bright green. Okay, I have strung on a total of 8 beads. I have 4 seed beads and 4 duos. And Superduos, by the way, are called that way because they have 2 holes in them. So a seed bead, a duo, a seed bead, a duo, a seed bead, and a duo. Now I'm going to go ahead, this is my tail end of my thread, and I'm going to go ahead and run my needle up through the first 2 beads that were strung. So the size 11 seed bead and the first duo. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do something I normally don't do, and I'm going to end up tying a knot, but before I do that, I want to go ahead and run through all the rest of the beads in this first circle. So I pulled it tight, it looks like it's in a circle, and the needle and thread go all the way around, and this is to help secure the flower part of the Starflower. So I call the interior part the flower part, and the outer rings the star. Okay, we are back to where we started. So here's my tail thread, and here's my working thread, and I'm just going to tie a simple knot. You don't need a surgeon's knot or a double overhand or whatever, you just simple overhand. And the reason I'm doing this is I don't want to block this bead hole, I just want to give it some tension so that my thread doesn't come out while I'm working. Okay, I have my thread, my working thread is coming out of this green Superduo, so I'm going to put my needle back through the seed bead, the next duo, the seed bead, and the next duo. And you want to be coming out of the duo and not a seed bead. Okay. So, this wants to wiggle around on me. I have my thread coming out of the lower hole of this duo, and I'm going to put my needle through the upper hole. So what I'm doing is I'm moving to the upper side. And you can see what I mean about, there's going to be a little bit of thread showing, but because this is going to be the interior, not a whole lot's going to show. Okay, I'm coming out of the top hole of this duo. I'm going to pick up a seed bead, if they will cooperate, a pink duo, and another seed bead. And I'm going to go ahead and put my needle through the top hole of this bead. String it on through. So here's what I have. I have a seed bead, a duo, and a seed bead between these 2 green ones. So I'm going to go ahead and get the tail out of the way. I am going to go ahead and string on this time a total of 5 beads. 3 seed beads and two duos. So seed bead, duo, seed bead, duo, and seed bead. So this is what I have on, and I'm going to put it through the top hole of this one. Remember, my thread is coming out of this one, so I'm going to put it through the top hole of this next one. And then just go ahead and pull tight. And so far we have the following. The first half of the star. Next we'll pick up a size 11. That's definitely not cooperating. A duo and another size 11. And as you might guess, I'm going to go ahead and put it through the top hole of this next duo. Here we go. And for the final one, it is going to be the size 11 duo, size 11 duo, and size 11. So 11 duo, 11 duo, 11. And through this Superduo, now I'm also going to go around, I'm going to run my needle all the way around again to tighten this up some, because right now it's pretty loose. And I need to have the little Starflower tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run my needle all the way around and be back in a sec. Back to where I started. And now I'm just going to go ahead and do another half circle because I want to be coming out of this bead right here. So, and this also doesn't hurt to help tighten it up some. And the first few times I made this, I didn't make enough passes around the exterior, and I found that the flowers and the stars turned out kind of floppy-ish. So that's why I started going ahead and making like 2.5 passes through. Okay, so I'm coming out of this duo. My needle is coming out this side, and what I want to do is I want to get to the top hole here. I don't really want my thread showing on the outside though, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads and run my needle up through the top of the duo. So I have 2 little beads sticking out, and that will help hide the thread. So now I pick up 1 seed bead, my dagger, and then another seed bead, and then go ahead and put my needle through the other part of this little outside star. So this is, my needle's coming out here, so I'm going to go ahead and go through here. So there I have my dagger on. And now I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, and so you see my needle or my thread is coming out of this top one. So I'm going to run my needle back through the bottom, and then I'm going to work my way around to the other side. So you see, it's either side of these beads have a little purple seed bead on them. Now I'm going back because I want to come out of this duo, and then I want to go ahead and get my needle through this first seed bead. Get my tail out of the way. There we go. So my thread is coming out of this first of these 2 seed beads. I'm going to pick up 1 more seed bead and put my needle back down through the second seed bead, through the duo, and then through the seed bead that's next to the dagger. What this does is it gives it a really nice picot, and it also firms it up some. So back through the dagger and the next size 11, through the duo, and then through the first seed bead. Pull that a little bit, put in another duo, or excuse me, another seed bead, go back through that second seed bead, and there we go. A couple of nice little picots on the other side, on each side of this star part. Now we've got to go ahead and add the bail so that we have a place for our earrings to sit. My way all around, and now I'm coming out of this pink bead up here, so my thread's coming out of the bottom. I'm going to add 2 seed beads because I'm going to do a picot up here just the way I did on the bottom. So run my needle through. I've got the first part of the picot. Then I want to add 4 seed beads because this is going to act as the bail. So 4 seed beads through the top of the next pink bead. So there I've got 4 for my bail. Then 2 more seed beads back through the bottom hole. Then next seed bead back to the duo, and my needle is coming out of that first seed bead of the first picot. Okay, pick up another seed bead, back up through the top, and then work my way around this again. Going to add the other part of the picot on this side, so I'm going down through that second seed bead. So I've got it looking like this so far. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through one more time. Actually, probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run through 2 more times, and I'll be back when I am ready to start tying off. Here's a handy little trick that I found. I'm getting ready to start tying off, and where I'm at is I am coming out of the second seed bead of the 4 that I added up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a half hitch knot right here. Now the reason I'm doing that is I'm going between the second and the third bead. And the reason I'm doing that is because it lifts this just a tiny bit, and so when you put your earring finding in, it gives it a little bit more of a space to sit gracefully. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and work my way back. Where I want to go is I want to be back to the beginning. Back around. So now I'm back to where I started. So here's my original tail coming out. Here's my working thread. I'm going to remove the needle, and now I'm going to tie a double overhand knot. Not only are the beads not cooperating with me today, but my thread isn't either. So okay, double overhand, pull it tight. Normally I'd go ahead and run my thread back through another bead or 2. Unfortunately, I didn't leave myself enough of a working thread because I clipped it a few times along the way. So what I'm going to do is actually use my thread burner and get rid of these tails. I think I called this a bead burner earlier. Well, no, you don't want to burn your beads. You just want to burn your thread off. Okay, what you do is you just go ahead and get it really nice and warm, and then it just pops off that thread. But be careful, this does get very, very hot at the tip. Okay. Well, all I need to do now is to go ahead and put on the earring finding. So here we go. Open up the earring finding. Pop on our little Starflower. Oops. pop on our little Starflower earring. Sorry about getting out of the picture there for a second. There we go. Now see what I mean by it gives it a little bit of extra space between the two beads? The second and third bead. Okay. There we go. We have a Starflower earring. Now I already have a second one done, so here's the pair. And I wanted to show you a couple of other versions that I've made with this. This set I did with more muted colors. So I have daggers with kind of blurred peacock on them, and the beads here are some more amethyst colored and pinkish colored. So I've got those two. And here next is a set that I did that has two starflowers to it, and also a charm dangle instead of the dagger. So this was a lot of fun to make too, putting two of the starflowers together. Alright, if you want to see the exact supply list I had for all three of these starflower earrings, just go to my site www.beadedjewelrydiva.com and you'll be able to go ahead and see the full supply list. But I hope you have enjoyed making these starflower earrings, and I hope you'll make them in all kinds of different color combinations and let your imagination be your guide. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't miss any new videos that come out. Come on and see me again at Beaded Jewelry Diva, and have yourself a wonderful beading day. Bye.